Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Authentic Info Podcast. I'm your host, Admire Sandile. Now, the NSPCA have laid criminal charges against Julius Malema. These charges are of an inhumane killing of a cow. And they say it constitutes animal cruelty. Now, it is a surprise, especially to us, black people, who are always slaughtering for traditional purposes, whether these are events or ceremonies or rituals. So I don't know of any procedure that is said to be there or normal that is presented by either this NSPCA or the state, that is in terms of the law that states or teaches us how to kill animals. Because we kill these animals in different ways. White people, by the way, they enter into game farms and do sports shooting. They enter into game farms and hunt animals using guns. And it is not always the case that they shoot an animal where an animal dies instantly. White people have farms where they do farming for these animals for beef. And they are killing animals or cows every day. I've never heard of any charge against any farmer who are mostly white people. I'm not against white people, or I'm not a racist, but I'm saying that these are the people who are killing cows every day in large numbers. But I've never heard the NSPCA laying criminal charges against any farmer who is dealing with beef. But today we hear of the NSPCA laying criminal charges against Julius Malema for animal cruelty, stating that the way he was stabbing that cow was inhumane. What type of procedure do they want him, or they wanted him to follow? Because they knew that he's going to slaughter. And he stated when he was interviewed by the media that is a ritual. They had to split blood on the ground so that the ancestors can bless their event, because they did this towards the 29th of July, where they held a ceremony at FNB Stadium celebrating their 10 years anniversary. So he was seen killing one cow, but he said that there are close to, if not over, 100 cows which were donated to the EFF, and they were based at the EFF farm, which means maybe 100 of cows were killed that day. But compared to the number of cows that are killed in the farms in South Africa producing beef, that number of cows which were killed by the EFF is just a drop in an ocean, a butterfly or a fly in a marquee. It's nothing, but it is taken to court. So this shows us that these institutions, which are supposed to be independent, are now influenced to fight political battles, because we see them being used to try and intimidate black leaders. That is my view. The NSPCA has once laid charges against Balekambet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Balekambet, because she was starving the animals in a farm in Northwest. And that makes sense, because you cannot own a game reserve and you don't make sure that the animals are well fed, protected, and they are healthy. That was wrong. But now this is a cow which in South Africa is meant for two things: reproduction and meat. Those are the two things. No one wants to keep a cow forever, because as soon as we realize that this cow is old, and then we have to sell it to those who need meat or beef. As soon as we realize that this cow is mature, we sell it to those who have events and things like that. So this is business. It has been commercialized that people who have cows will always sell them. People who have cows will always kill them for events, for ceremonies, for rituals, and so on. So I am surprised today that an institution like the NSPCA, which is supposed to be independent, is now being used as a political tool to try and maybe intimidate Julius Malema. And I'm waiting for their response. I'm waiting for him to talk about that. I'm waiting for him to respond to that. And I know that he's going to come up with a solid answer that will also teach the NSPCA of what is it that is expected out of that institution, and so as to expose if there are some shenanigans that are transpiring there. I know they are going to also do their research, and they are going to educate us as to what is it that made the NSPCA to arrive at a conclusion where they say Julius Malema was cruel on that cow. How was he supposed to kill it? Because we even saw Gayton Kenikunen at an event that they had. He was holding a knife, saying that they want to teach us and Malema how to kill a cow. But he was saying, it didn't say that there's a process or procedure that is known on how we should kill a cow. Others shoot the cow, and not all of them die instantly. Other cows are shot twice or even 3 times. Others uses a screwdriver to stab on the top of the head. Others uses knives. Others uses a machine that cuts the head instantly. But there is no way that a cow doesn't enjoy pain. There is no way. There is no shock that a cow can go through when it is being killed, that makes it to avoid pain. I've never heard of that. And another thing is that traditionally, when black people do these rituals of spitting blood, the cow must be stabbed, and it has to spill blood on the floor for quite some time. That first blood is what is needed so that it pleases the ancestors. So the NSPCA now want to intervene on how black people should conduct their rituals. So where are we supposed to go if we want to kill these cows? Must we hire people to come and kill for us? Because in some of these rituals, we only need family members to stab this cow and make sure that blood is spilled on the floor or on the ground, and some it's put separately so that they do these rituals. So the NSPCA today comes to say when you kill a cow like Malema did, that is animal cruelty. I've seen people stabbing sheep and let them roam until they die, saying that that is an instruction that they were given. That is how that family do their ritual or perform their ritual. And they don't do these things at night, during the day or in the morning. So the NSPCA now intervenes to teach black people how they should talk to their ancestors, how they should perform their rituals. Because if you do it in a way of, in an inhumane way, it means you will be arrested. What type of criminal charge is that? What are the elements of that charge? Because I know that according to criminal law, a charge has elements for it to be that charge. And I wonder if it meets the requirements, or the NSPCA has created that animal cruelty charge and its elements to fit so that they can charge Malema. I didn't want to be seen as a racist, and I don't want to be seen as a racist, but I think that these people have run out of ideas to try and crush and intimidate Julius Malema and the EFF. I think they have run out of ideas. And I think they continue to expose themselves. I mean, this an institution which is supposed to act independent in protection of animals. Julius Malema did not steal a cow. Julius Malema didn't try to make sure that the cow goes through pain. The only thing that they did was to make sure that blood is split on the ground. That is what was supposed to happen. And as a leader of the organization, according to traditions, the leader or the one who the event is about is the person who is supposed to step. That is how it is supposed to be. That is how it is done. He is the leader of the EFF, and he couldn't tell anyone or ask anyone to perform that ritual. He had to lead. He had to kill the first cow, and blood had to spill on the floor. And if the instruction was that the cow must still be alive until they collect a certain amount of blood, he had to do that. Other than that, the event was not going to be a success. And if he believes in traditional or doing things in a traditional way, there is no way that the NSPCA will now come and tell him that he must no longer slaughter a cow, or he must slaughter a cow according to their ways. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If it's a ritual that has to be performed, I know traditionally there are instructions. There are instructions. Black people are traditional people who have their own traditions. So as white people. If white people are using firearms to kill these animals, if white people are using machines to cut the heads of these animals, that is their way of doing. As black people, we stab. We want to see blood. And we understand that anything that is killed, it goes through pain. And it is through the instructions from traditional healers or leaders who will tell the person who is supposed to kill on how to kill the cow. What is it that must happen? And that has been the culture and tradition of black people. And there's no way that the NSPCA now want to intervene, because when they start with Malema, they are coming for all of us. And now they are taking away our right to our traditions, customs, and cultures. So it's bad. I think we, as black people, we shouldn't be agreed to be bullied like that. Because when they do this to Julius Malema and we don't defend him, or he's not defended, they are coming for all of us. They are going to crush our culture. They are going to crush our history. Because these things are taught. Our uncles, the elders of the family, teaches us these things, these traditional procedures and ceremonies, that when you want to perform or when you want to have a certain type of event, you have to slaughter. When you achieve to a certain level, you have to slaughter. That is according to tradition. The Zulus, for example, they are always slaughtering goats, sheep, and cows. That is their way of doing things. So if Malema was told somewhere, because we know politicians consult with elders, they consult with church leaders, they consult with senior politicians, former presidents, they consult with chiefs, traditional leaders, traditional healers, and they gather this information to make sure that they lead their organization with an understanding of their constituents, so that they understand the cultures of all these people, so that when they perform rituals, they make sure that it covers everyone. They make sure that Christians are covered. They make sure that people who believe in culture and tradition are covered, and they found home in their organization. So there's no way that an institution which is independent and is not even supposed to intervene in such matters can come now and teach the leader how certain rituals must be done. It means all black people onwards are going to be arrested, and the NSPCA each and every Friday, because we are slaughtering and we're doing it reckless for that manner, according to them, because there are those who stab once and let the cow roam around. It must spill blood everywhere. There are those and it is according to the instructions, and it is according to their way of doing things. So there's no way that the NSPCA will now intervene and instruct us how we should kill these animals when we want to perform rituals. There is no way. It shouldn't be tolerated. I don't agree with the NSPCA now. On this one, I don't agree. On the Balekambete issue, I agree. You cannot let animals starve. You have to be responsible over your property and everything or anything that transpires within your property. She owned a game farm. Animals were starving. She had to make sure that she released them, she can sell them, or provide food for such animals. That is cruelty. And she had to be held accountable, not as an employee of that game farm, but as the owner. It makes sense. But this thing that the NSPCA is doing is way out of hand. They are acting beyond their authority. And I think those who oppose the EFF are now being exposed to be who they so that we can see who they really are. They are now being exposed because we get to understand that they are going to use anything, any mistake, any little thing, and make it big and convince those who do not see, those who are not woke, that they want to frustrate the EFF leader. They want to distract him from 2024 mission because he says he's going to be president in 2024. And the white people don't want that. It's a fact. Majority of white people, as they are a minority in South Africa, it doesn't sit well with them when a person like Julius Malema says he's going to be president. They are always taking him to court for smaller matters. And I know now that he knows that everyone is looking for little mistake to take him to court. Every move that he makes is well calculated. Every move, even the calls, whatever he says, he knows that is being recorded, is being watched. So there's no way that he can be reckless. Everything that he does, he is well informed, he consults, and he is advised. So there's no way that he can be reckless. There's no way. He knew, and I believe he did consult before that ritual, before that ceremony. He did consult. And we've seen him going to going to other chiefs and visiting churches. We've seen him previously, before lockdown, going to ZCC. He goes everywhere where there are seniors for advice, and they advise him. So whatever he does is well informed. There's nothing that Julius Malema can say which is reckless. You might think it's reckless because you never thought of it or thought about it or think about it. But as soon as he explains, you will get to learn and understand what he really meant about or when he uttered such words. So Julius Malema is well informed, and every move that he makes is well calculated. Even that day when he slaughtered that cow, I know and I believe that he was informed and he was told of the procedure or about the procedure to follow, and he did as such. So there's no way that the NSPCA will now come and teach black people how to slaughter. It's wrong. I don't agree with them. It's wrong. This is Authentic Info Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Where the numbers are doing very well. We're growing very fast. Subscribe. Let's grow together. Thank you for watching.